Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because we're going to unpack something that so many of us experience, but honestly, we rarely talk about it. We're exploring the truly fascinating hidden psychology behind why some people make the choice to rarely or literally never share their lives online. We live in this world that is just constantly demanding our attention and our updates, right? So choosing to stay off the grid, that's a deeply fascinating psychological choice. Okay, let's dive right into this. I want you to think about this for a second. Have you ever been scrolling through your feed, maybe looked up a specific person, and noticed that they almost never post about their lives on social media? You look at their profile, and it's just crickets. Absolutely no daily updates, no personal photos, none of that constant, curated sharing. Now, for a lot of people, this seems kind of strange. There's this alienating, almost heavy pressure in our modern society that says we have to document absolutely everything we do. If you happen to be one of those people with zero daily updates, you've probably felt that pressure yourself. But psychology suggests something incredibly interesting about this behavior, and it completely flips the script on what we normally assume.
So there's this massive tension we all feel. On one side, mainstream culture aggressively tells you that if you didn't post a picture, the moment simply didn't happen. It literally demands proof of your experiences. But then on the other side, we have the psychological reality. And the reality is that staying out of the digital spotlight is actually a sign of quiet, profound psychological strength. People who keep their lives private online, well, they think very differently about attention, identity, and validation. If you've been sitting there questioning your own choice to stay private, let this completely validate you. Your digital silence is powerful. Let's look at exactly why.
All right, moving into Section 1, the digital invisibility myth, where we challenge the illusion.
You see, digital invisibility isn't about hiding at all. It is the conscious, deliberate choice to keep personal experiences private and offline. It's not that you lack something to share. It's a completely different mental framework for how you navigate the world and what you actually consider important. It reflects a totally different way of processing attention, your sense of identity, and how you receive validation.
That brings us to Section 2, privacy over public attention, the first pillar.
For the digitally invisible, meaningful moments just feel more authentic in the real world, rather than being broadcasted to an audience. One of the biggest traits of people who don't post photos is that they actively value privacy so much more than attention. Psychologically, these individuals feel significantly more comfortable keeping their personal experiences within a smaller circle. They don't want, and they definitely don't need, to display them publicly for everyone to judge or see. Instead of sharing everything online, they prefer to keep the most important, vital parts of their life entirely offline. They want them to remain deeply personal, because by not broadcasting it, the sheer authenticity of the moment is preserved.
Let's move to Section 3, the internal validation shift, the second pillar.
So there's a huge core psychological divide happening right here. On one hand, we have external validation. Social media platforms are engineered entirely around this, right? The likes, the comments, the public approval, it's an endless feedback loop. But on the flip side, we have internal standards. If you rarely post, your sense of self-worth is built on a rock-solid internal foundation. You already know your value without needing a little heart icon to confirm it. And because of this internal shift, you totally escape the dependency. You feel much less of that desperate need to post things just to get a reaction or praise or validation from the outside world.
Next up is Section 4, guarding your physical reality, the third pillar.
It's a remarkably simple sentence, but man, it is an incredibly powerful mental habit. Not everything needs to become a post. Some individuals consciously create a really strict boundary between their physical reality and their digital life. Why does this matter so much? Well, psychology shows that maintaining this clear boundary can actually significantly reduce your stress and fiercely protect your personal identity. Think about it for a second. Instead of turning every life event, every dinner, every single vacation into online content, you simply experience them. You remove the heavy, constant pressure of documenting everything. You protect your true self by keeping a firm, solid wall between your physical reality and your digital identity. Which leads perfectly into Section 5, inner circles, the fourth pillar.
People who rarely share online approach their relationships fundamentally differently. They cultivate much smaller social circles, which results in much deeper personal connections. They are way more selective about who they actually let in. Instead of broadcasting their life updates to hundreds of people they barely know, or folks they haven't spoken to since high school, they might choose to share personal experiences only with close family or friends. This reflects a deep, fundamental psychological preference. They are actively choosing the absolute quality of a connection over the sheer quantity of attention. For them, it is intimacy over broadcasting every single time.
All right, Section 6, living in the present, experiencing versus displaying.
Let's break down exactly what happens in our brains when we do this, step by step. Step 1, you are focusing on a real experience, maybe enjoying a beautiful view or eating a fantastic dinner. Then step 2, the thought intrudes. Oh, I should take a photo of this for my followers. And right there at step 3 is exactly where the fracture happens. Your brain splits its attention. You are no longer fully in the moment. Your attention is now completely divided between the physical experience you are having right there and the imaginary audience you are performing for. Psychology suggests that individuals who post less often naturally prioritize living in the present moment instead of trying to record it. By simply not pulling out their phone, they keep their attention fully, 100% anchored on the experience itself.
It really all comes down to this one absolute truth for the digitally private. The real moment always matters more than the post. They process their life by focusing so much more on experiencing the moment rather than putting it on display. Their attention isn't fractured. They're entirely, completely there.
And now our final section, Section 7, the quiet strength, reclaiming your reality. Listen, if you are someone who hasn't posted a photo of yourself in months or, hey, maybe even years, you need to stop letting people tell you that you're insecure. Stop letting them tell you that you're antisocial or weird. Society so often pathologizes what it doesn't quite understand. But as we've seen today through the lens of psychology, rejecting the digital spotlight isn't a flaw at all. It is a highly selective, mindful, and incredibly intentional way to exist. You are rejecting their assumptions, and you are protecting your peace.
Always remember this. You are simply choosing to live your life instead of performing it. That is the ultimate takeaway here. Your digital silence? It's a victory of authenticity. You are favoring internal validation, real-world boundaries, and deep, true connections over a performative digital existence.
So I'll leave you with this lingering thought to really ask yourself today. Are you living your moments, or are you just recording them? Take a moment to evaluate your own habits. If you found this breakdown of the hidden psychology behind our everyday human behavior fascinating, and if you want to understand why you do the things you do without all the extra fluff, make sure to subscribe to the channel right now. We're going to keep exploring the mind together. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.